Well, we have done a lot of these. Mercy, Zen, Doomfist, Hanzo Widow, Roadhog, Sojourn. I mean, there's a lot of characters that definitely have powerful abilities and that are controversial, but I never thought that Ana would be the next hot topic of discussion for balance, and that's what's happened. Ana discussion and controversy has blown up about the balance of Ana. So is Ana grossly broken, or actually super weak and easy to counter, or is it something different entirely? We're gonna break it all down, but do me a solid and smash that like, subscribe, and let's jump into it. Well, Ana has been seeing quite a bit of play. In pro play, in ranked play, Ana is the most picked character, and it actually has been that way for a long time, especially in ranked. Ana has been the most popular and picked character, and this is in spite of win rate. Even though Ana has had a rather healthy win rate through most ranks, she is oftentimes picked regardless of the state of the character or how good she is in the meta. She's just a really popular character and picked quite a bit. However, a lot of players, especially going into the 5v5 environment, have argued that Ana is a bit too strong. Like this person on Twitter that said, quote, Ana is also the least interactive hero in the game and can completely shut down multiple ultimates with a single 10-second cooldown. There's a lot of people that complain about various abilities, whether it's constantly nading the enemy tank in a solo tank environment or just being able to sleep and basically delete a character from the game. We all know that Ana has powerful abilities, but these abilities can be difficult to land. Sleep darts can be very, very hard, and they're less effective on tanks. Nades can be really impactful if you hit multiple people, but hitting just one person, not so much, and there's tons of other abilities that can counteract a good nade. Now, a lot of the arguments say that even the small sleep on a tank, or just constantly nading one tank, is good enough value to actually justify Ana being broken, but not everyone agrees on this at all. There's a guy that thinks he's a coach on Twitter that said, quote, stop talking about nerfing Ana. I'm tired of reading complaints about Ana pick rate when she's a flexible, high skill / reward ceiling support that's very fun to play. If Moira, Mercy, Lifeweaver, Baptiste had that level of reward / fun to skill, then they'd be more popular. Now, before I actually talk about what is my personal take on the entire matter, I want to make it clear that I'm going to have a hard time being objective about Ana like I am with a lot of other characters. And this is true even though I main and play characters like Genji and Doom, because in my personal opinion, I think that Ana is the perfect hero. I'm a big fan of characters that scale relative to skill, and I think that characters that have high skill intensive abilities and just mechanically demanding kits overall, these characters should be the best characters in the game. These characters should be dominant at the high end, and the reason I say this is because I want people to get more value directly to the amount of skill they have on a certain character and the amount of skill they have in Overwatch, but that's not always the case. And I honestly feel like regardless of whether you nerf or buff or balance Ana, I always want Ana to at least thrive in the high end of play as people get better at the game, more mechanically better, positionally better, and understand the game more. I would prefer a character like Ana actually be the representative of Overwatch. I feel personally that Ana is just as bread and butter Overwatch as Tracer is. These characters make the game what they are, and that's why I'm going to have a hard time being objective about this. But I do want to talk about something that Spylo referenced that I think not enough people talk about, and it's the fact that popular characters see play. Popular characters get picked, and a lot of people don't even think about that when they think about how to balance a character or what they should do to balance a character. They look at a character and they look, hey, this character is played a ton, this character is played a ridiculous amount, obviously they're too strong, we need to nerf this character. And they keep nerfing the character, and maybe at some point the people will stop playing that character. But they didn't stop playing that character or even start playing that character because of their power level in the first place. They played that character because that character was interactive, that character was fun, and that character had a way to transfer your skill into impact, and you felt yourself getting better on said character. But if you nerf a character so much where someone's just gonna lose all the time, it doesn't matter how interactive a character is or how fun a character is, losing is not fun. So yes, you can definitely affect a character's pick rate by balancing them that way, but the reason that Ana has always had one of the most picked pick rates in the entire game is not because of her power. Most players don't hit consistent nades, don't hit consistent sleeps with most of their abilities, nano random people, and can't aim their gun, and they still play Ana. Why? Because Ana's freaking fun. Ana's a fun character, and it's important to recognize that fun makes a character see more play. Now, this does bring up an entirely different conversation, though, is does fun supersede balance, right? And this is an important concept, because there is actually a push and pull between trying to find and make a game that is balanced for everybody, where characters are balanced in pick rate, or a game that is interactive and fun, and they're not the same, by the way. Like, every time a character is underplayed and underpicked, the immediate response is to buff that character so that it's viable. But there's a couple of problems with that. Number one, not every character can be viable all the time. There's a limited amount of characters that can be viable, and if every character just had perfectly even pick rate, it would just be a really small pick rate per character. And really, when a character is super fun, they would have to be objectively far, far weaker than the other options, like we talked about in the beginning. It would have to affect their win rate so much that people stop playing because they're losing too much, because on average, more people find them more fun to play, so they're picking them in spite of balance. But also, the other part of this argument is that I personally believe that some characters should not be meta and not be viable, and some characters should be meta and should be viable and should be played a lot. In my personal opinion, a character like Ana has a lot of ways to interact with her. Whether you're a DPS, whether you're whatever character, you can diver, you can fighter, you can dueler. I think of how you can outplay characters on Ana, like if the Tracer v Ana matchup, there's a lot of intricacy in that matchup. There's a lot of counterplay in that matchup, and I like that. I think that that's good, healthy balance. And if a meta has both Ana and Tracer as active components in it, I think that's a good thing, versus if it was like a meta where every game had Junkrat Bastion. I'm sorry, regardless of how much you like those characters, I don't think that would be a healthy meta. I think that those characters are better as niche picks, not characters that embody what everyone plays in any given match. Basically, I'm saying that balance, perfect balance, is overrated, especially when we're talking about ranked play. Like, forget about pro play, Overwatch League is dead, I don't care. I'm talking about ranked play, and I'm talking about healthy gameplay. Take the pick rate of Ana right now, take the pick rate of Tracer right now, and some of these other characters, and replace them with some other characters on the roster, and you will understand my point, where that would all of a sudden be just an unbearable meta for everybody. A lot of people would not be having nearly as fun with Overwatch, and it would be a much more frustrating experience. And my argument is that Ana plays a healthy part in that. I think Ana is the character that you want to have in a lot of games, in most ranks, the character that is okay with being the most picked character in the game. So to recap my points here, Ana is powerful, but I think she's picked a lot more so because she's very fun to play. I think she's healthy overall for game play and just interactive game moments. And I do think that if you wanted to make it so that Ana was not picked nearly as much, especially in ranked play, by a large margin, you would have to nerf the character so freaking much that the character would just be a wet noodle. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't have to nerf the character at all, even though I don't think it would really affect Ana's pick rate. No matter what you nerfed on the character, I really don't think it would affect that much on Ana's pick rate unless you way over nerfed her, like I've said a million times in this video. But I could see the argument that there's a couple of abilities that could be tweaked a little bit, right? You could make the argument, yeah, maybe Nade should do a little bit less percentage. You could talk about shaving off numbers here and there. You could talk about moving some of those numbers around. But in my opinion, the big problem is, let's say you shave a second or even half a second off of Nade. Freaking 6 months from now, Ana's pick rate is not much different than it is right now. What do? You do it again, you do it again, you do it again, and then what happens? You either bastardize all these abilities to where they don't even do what they did before, or you rework the character, you rework one of the best characters that Blizzard has ever made that creates some of the best moments in the game, because they're picked too much, because they're popular. This is my overall argument on the character. Like I said, this video is way more biased than I think all of my other breakdowns on characters, because I feel pretty strongly about this. I do think that Ana is by far the best character that Blizzard released post-launch, and it's not even freaking close. She might even be the best character that Blizzard even ever made, in my opinion. And I don't even play Ana. Like, I'm not even an Ana main. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, I don't even play Ana on support. I play Zen, and I don't even play support as my main role. I play tank and then DPS. So this is just coming from someone from the outside looking in. I do feel pretty strongly about this. But I really do want to pass the question off to you. Do you agree or disagree with any of the big points that I've made? And if you do, let me know why in the comments down below. But do me a solid and smash the like, subscribe, even if you didn't like the video. And thank you so much for coming by. I'll see you next time.